Lots of the literature and history, for that matter, that students are learning about in high school are full of tough topics. We can't avoid all of that. On the other hand, we can establish norms for the safe space. There's a relationship. In a sense, the safer the space that we have, the more we can handle learning about in that space. So we want to make sure that we've already established norms for listening, for patience, for participating, for the things that we're not going to say to each other, for the things that we will make room for understanding options, for staying quiet, passing, taking a time out, all of those options. If you have a student in your class who has had a tragedy in their family recently, chat with them ahead of time, check on their readiness to participate, on their support systems. With those supports, chances are that they will find a way to participate. Also, be sure to contact other professionals on your team if you're in a team structure in school or in school, partly because that student leaves your classroom and goes on to their next classes. So colleagues need to know. Also, another colleague might already be a support person for that particular student more than you are. Students glom on to different teachers in different ways. And so it's important to have shared with colleagues ahead of time if you're working on a particularly difficult unit.
What we also know about helping students who have had some tragedy in their lives is that we don't have to always shy away from curriculum that might bring up some hard moments for them, because that is going to be part of their developmental task, how to integrate that so they can carry on in school and do their education. As Rachel said, you always want to do that in conjunction with other professionals in the school, so you're working with a team around that. But there's going to become times in all of the work when you know ahead of time you're coming to a lesson, and even if there isn't a student who's had a particular tragedy, but especially if there is one who has, that you're coming to a difficult scene, something that you know is one of the hard parts in the book or the film or the movie. So with this class, you have a chance to set up some protocols. Class, we're at one of those moments, and here's our options. And having student voice in this is really important. First one is, let's preview this scene. Now, I want to say, as a teacher, we do this with Shakespeare all the time. We talk to the kids about what the plot's going to be and what's going to happen in the scene so that the students don't stumble over the language, but can absorb the more important dramatic sequence. So similarly, with a hard part in the Museum of Me and Edith Finch, it's going to be possible to say, let's preview what's coming up in this one. Sometimes you can make the decision as an adult, as a teacher, to skip a scene. There are times I've skipped a scene in a movie because I knew enough students would be disturbed by the film. We could skip it, I'd describe what happened in the scene, and we'd go on with the movie. Nothing would be lost in terms of the students' deeper understanding of that movie. And they sometimes would question me about why I was doing that, and I would be very clear about why. That I don't think we need to watch this film, this part of the film, for everyone to get the gist of it. And of course, given modern social media, if you want to go home and watch this scene on your own, you probably will be able to. Sometimes we have to stop the film, the story, and say, we've come to that difficult part, and you have the option not to participate in class for the next few minutes. You've heard the description, and if you just want to drop out for a couple of minutes, hey, that's what we're learning how to do here, to know ourselves as learners and people, to be able to take breaks, to feel safe, and still be part of this classroom community. Also a time where you can do journaling and pair shares, because we want to have alternatives besides whole class revealing of how you're feeling to make sense of these scenes and understand what's going on.